When you know what your language of learning is, it gets a lot easier to navigate life. One of the main reasons for that is because when you know how you are receptive to information, you can tell someone what it is that you need. If you're in a partnership, any type of partnership, a relationship, then when you need to learn something or your partner needs to tell you something, it gets a lot easier if you can tell them how you need to receive that information. It seems like a very laborious conversation, and it is a little awkward at first, but you get pretty used to articulating yourself and your needs. If they really want you to understand something, then they're going to have to meet you halfway. If neither of you know how it is that you learn, it takes a lot of trial and error before anything actually lands or becomes real to you. When you know how you learn, and they do too, it gets a lot easier to be able to have those conscious level conversations. Every time you have a realization, you need to teach your partner what just changed in your reality, your shared reality. And so when you know how each other learn, it gets a lot easier to actually get those messages across. When you're trying to consciously evolve, when you're trying to push the boundaries of what you're capable of in personal development, it becomes a whole different level of exciting when we know how to work with our nature instead of against it. The moment when you're picking apples and that realization hits is not how you learnt it. That's just the moment that it actually landed. So we got to back it up, go into the depths of the story, and the depths of your shadows, the shadows in your mind and the secret places in your heart, to find out how were you designed to work and how can you capitalize on that and show up in the most impactful ways for you. The ultimate goal is not just about receiving information and learning lessons so that you can grow. The ultimate goal is usually about sharing yourself. And when you know how to get your needs met, when you know how to get into alignment and be receptive to things in your environment, it goes much farther than just learning lessons and receiving information. It also becomes how it is that you receive energy, how you receive others, how you can have more deep, intimate connections with other people without all that other stuff in the way that creates miscommunications, that creates those blockages where you can't authentically see each other. And so our prayer for you is to have the availability to be seen, to be shared, and to share your journey with others. Because as we listen to the other ways of doing things, we will, of course, be attracted to things that are seeming easier than what we do. We don't like to do things in the most difficult way possible. We just habitually do. So when we hear the options, you will often romanticize one or another. You'll pick one of the 12 that sounds really attractive, and that's the one that you want. But you have to be very honest with yourself. Is that something you're attracted to because you think it would be easier than what you do? Or is that something that you're responding to because it's actually more natural for you? And the difference would be your experiences. Especially when you're younger or when you're overwhelmed and can't think your way through something, you will typically spontaneously either manifest or revert to your natural method. So in our challenges, we're always looking for what happens when you think no one's watching. When you think no one can see you, when you're not even watching yourself, how do you do it? How do you do it when no one's going to hold you accountable to the method that you took? Something we often hear is that, like with math, someone who's good at math, they'll get to the answer, but then they can't tell you how they got to the answer. They just know it. And that's essentially what we're looking for. Those moments where you just knew what to do and no one taught you how, or people taught you to do something a different way and you decided to do it this way instead because it felt like it was a better idea. We're going to go over the different aspects of that and how to figure out what your learning language is so that you can take that conscious reign over your whole life. you.